Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Buddha. So today also we are here in our Zoom meeting. So today also we are quite happy to have you all in this Zoom session. And first of all, I would like to thank Dr. Rasana Bajracharya for accepting our kind invitation, which she is always eager and supportive to these activities. And also as a practitioner Buddhist and also one of the learned Buddhists in our society, she is always willing to share her knowledge and the Dhamma knowledge, which is quite beneficial to all of us. So sharing is a good thing. And so she is quite happy. This is with her own interest that she would like to share today's topic, which is the mapping of Tripitaka. That is quite a time-consuming topic, but she is going to present to all of us within a limited time. So we are quite thankful for her with this presentation. And also I would like to welcome all of you in online who is with us to attend this session. So regarding the topic, which is, as we know, as a Buddhist, especially in Theravada Buddhism, that we talk about Tripitaka. Also in Mahayana, in Tibetan, as well as Vajrayana also, they do talk about Tripitaka, but slightly different format. But as the teachings of the Buddha, it is quite important. I'm not going to say a lot because I don't know what Dr. Rasana is going to say. I don't want to duplicate. So maybe I might add things to the talk at the end so that I'm not duplicating. But before starting, that we know Tripitaka, when the Buddha passed away at the deathbed, that Bhante Ananda approached the Buddha and said, Bhante, Venerable Sir, Bhagavan Shasta, you have been our master, our leader. Any problem, any dispute, or whatever it is, we always came to you, and Master, the Bhagavan Shasta, has been very compassionate and kind to address us and clarify all our misunderstanding or doubts. But after your passing away, who is going to be in charge, or who will be the successor? Whom do we approach if we have any doubt, or if we want to know things about about life and about the Dharma? So, and the Buddha's saying at that time was, this is not a dogma or not something, came from somewhere. This is the teaching. So the Dhamma and Vinaya, my teachings and my disciplines will be your master, your leader. So on that note, that we can see that how important it is in the teachings of the Buddha as a practitioner, that what Buddha taught, the teachings, suttas and vinayas, how important it is. So in that sense, this Tripitaka is quite important, and is very important that we all know, at least we have some idea how Tripitaka is set up, so that we can, explore in that whenever needed. So as I said, without taking too much time, I would like to request Dr. Rasana Bajracharya, please unmute yourself and present her talk today. And then later on, that if I feel like I have any more to add on it, I'm sure she will cover almost everything.
Definitely.
And
Amit,
then,
you are my back supports, because no, Bante Sumedha and Bante Sumana both, Susanna and Bante Sumana,
Sumana.
both of them are not there.
Yeah,
So I will have to look at you when somebody asks any questions, because this is not that, like
yeah. Thank you.
I know a lot. So
Thank you.
let me share
And
my
also we have many other, scholars in our group,
scholars.
so
Yeah.
they also can share. Anyway, that will be at the end. So let us start today's
Let me
talk.
share my
Yes,
presentation
please.
first.
Go ahead.
You can see now.
Yes.
Okay. So first of all, I'd like to say Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddhang Dhammang Sanghang Namasami. Thank you very much for coming up to listen to my talk. I'm going to talk in English because this is how I prepared. Because I didn't have any chance to read in Nepali or Newari language about Tripitaka. All I got was from English. So I thought it would be easier for me to make presentation in English. And also now English, everybody understand, I guess. People who don't know me is I'm Dr. Rasana Bajracharya. I'm one of the obstetric consultants working in UK. And I am born and brought up in Patan, Nepal. So I came here in 1999, and since then I am here in the UK. As I was born in Sakya family, I had been always in a Buddhist environment, and I have been getting more teachings from my father. It started from there. So after coming to UK, it became, we became more interested in Buddhism and getting into Lumbini Buddha Society. It was, more platform for us to learn more. So I have chosen the topic about brief introductory mapping of Tripitaka. There's a reason behind it, because whenever I listen to any talk from the monks, from Bhantes, they always, take the reference of in Majjhima Nikaya, the sutta has says like that. In Digha Nikaya, it's that. So I used to wonder, what is this? I just really want to understand what is all about. So I started to read Tripitaka on my own. So then I thought it is better if I put it into, in a presentation form, so that I will able to understand. So that helped me actually to present today. So the background is, as I said, Tripitaka means 3 baskets, and it is the heart of Buddhism. It is very intricate, and it's very difficult to understand and difficult to memorize, but you don't need to memorize everything, because this is not possible. And this talk is mainly to outline the 3 pitakas, 3 baskets. I don't have any intention to go in depth, because this is beyond my capacity. It was my own interest, as I've said earlier, to know what is Sutra Pitaka and what is Bina Pitaka and what is Abhidhamma Pitaka, just briefly, so that if I need to go further, I know where to go. That's the whole idea of today's talk. It is very theoretical, so I hope it won't be boring for you guys. So let me talk about what is Tripitaka first. As we all know, as we have learned from our Buddhist teachings, that the Sakyamuni Buddha has never written anything during his lifetime. He has spent 45 years by giving discourses and Dhammadesana, but he has never had anything written. And he gave all his discourses in his local language, which is Magadhi, and encouraged all the monks to deliver the discourses in their own local languages. And till today, I think we have been hearing all the Lord Buddha's teachings in Dharmadesanas in our local language, in Newari, Nepali, English, and in different languages and local languages. This is how we have been taught Buddha's teachings. And the Tripitaka we have now today is in Pali, and it was written at the time of Sinhalese king Battagamini, after 4th century of Lord Buddha's Mahaparinirvana. This was the century before the Christ was born. So I just want to give a little bit of background how it came into scene. So it all happened after Sakyamuni Buddha's parinirvana. The first Sanghayana was, the first Sanghayana, means first conference was, took place among 500 monks who had attained Arhata. Also, the background of this is when Lord Buddha has just attained Mahaparinirvana, one of the old monk, whose name is Subhadra, when he heard that the Sakyamuni Buddha has passed away, he was overjoyed. He was so happy, and he said, "Oh, now we are free. There is no Buddha to bound us with the binayas and all these things. We can do now whatever we want." So he was so overjoyed, and it so happened that Bhante Kashyapa he overheard that, and he felt very sad. Sakyamuni, Buddha has just passed away one day, and then this is what the monks are saying. If we continue this, then there won't be any teachings left for the future generation. So thinking about that, so he has called the old 500 Arhat, very renowned monks, to have a conference, and to how we make Lord Buddha's teaching viable till in near futures, or many centuries and no century, how we can do that. So all of them, when they met together, they all said that, well, I wasn't there when Buddha gave discourses. So the only person who was constantly there was Bhante Ananda. So we need to invite him as well. But there was one problem. But at the time, Bhante Ananda was not Arhat. So they have requested Ananda Bhante to become Arhat. So he tried very hard to become Arhat. He meditated, he did spend days and nights to become Arhat. He could not. So finally he thought, I can't do this. Even if I'm not Arhat, it doesn't really matter. Just I'll give up. This is what it is. So thinking like that, at 4 a.m. in the morning, he tried to lie down, and suddenly he found himself floating. So that told him that, oh, he has attained Arhatship, because all the time he was grasping to become Arhat. So that was making hindrance to become Arhat. So once he has let it go, then he attained Arhatship. So then he joined the Sanghayana, and then obviously he is there with all the discourses that Lord Buddha has given. And also, before he agreed to be Lord Buddha's attendant, he has made Lord Buddha promise that all the discourses that will be given, obviously he will be there. But if by any chance, if he is not there, then Lord Buddha has to come back and tell about the discourses again to him. So that's how he has remember all the discourses that was given by Lord Buddha for 45 years. And also Ananda Bhante has got very, quality, a very strong quality of remembering. He can remember each and everything very clearly. So that has been beneficial. So that's how the written verse of Tripitaka has come back to us till today. That's so we know what the Buddha's teaching is. So this is the background. So let's talk about Tripitaka. So the Tripitaka, as I've said, is 3 baskets. It consists of Vinaya Pitaka, Sutra Pitaka, and Abhidhamma Pitaka. Vinaya Pitaka is Vinaya means rules. This is mainly for the monks, and this is the most important among the 3 Pitakas of the Buddha, and said that to keep the Buddha Sasana alive in future, Vinaya is essential. So there were initially 152 rules, which is Patimokka, but at the time, as the time passed, obviously rule has been added. And also when the female monks, the Vichunis, joined the Sangha, then it again increased to 227 rules. And I have heard that even for females, there are 300 odd rules separately for the female monks. So this is all to keep the monks bounded so that the Sangha can practice correctly. All these rules will keep the Sangha stable and also continue to spread the Buddha's teaching in all directions. So till today, the Buddhist monks practice Patimokka Day every month and discuss the rules. And also if rule is broken, then they will ask for forgiveness from the senior monks. And also it has been detailed explanation in the Vinaya rules, were well known as Parajika, which means major offenses. So if any monk, commits major offenses, then they say that he is in parajika. So if it is small offenses, like lesser offenses, like they call patsithaya, and if monks breaks the rule, they can be in parajika. I have to say like that. So Binay Pitaka also have Khandakas and Parivar divisions. Mahavagga and Chulavagga falls in the Khandaka section. So this is all about Binay Pitaka. I'm not going to go further than this because I don't have any capacity to do that. Next one is the Sutra Pitaka. Sutra Pitaka, obviously, it contains all the teachings of the Buddha. It contains all the discourses that was given by the Buddha in his lifetime, and as remembered by Ananda Bhikkhu. So Sutra Pitaka consists of 5 Pitakas. So it is like 5 Nikayas, I should say. So depending on how long and how short the discourses, they have divided into 5 Nikayas. So Digha Nikaya is the longest one, because the Lord Buddha has given the discourses for days and nights and even weeks or even months. So those are the long discourses they have kept in Digha Nikaya. Mostly it covers Sila, Samadhi, and Pragya. It contains 34 long discourses. And Majjhima Nikaya are about 152 medium discourses. And it covers 4 Noble Truth, Karma, Eightfold Path, Sakaya Ditti. These all are the basic, but then very interesting subjects. And Majjhima Nikayas are neither long nor short, just in the middle. Samyukta Nikaya, again, it has got 56 small discourses, and it mainly deals with Mara and Devatas. They are one of the part in this Samyukta Nikaya is mainly encounter with the Mara and Devatas. I'll go a little bit in detail in my coming slides. Anguttara Nikaya, it has got 2,306 small discourses, and it mainly covers various areas of it diverse. So they have got lots of small discourses, and all these discourses are a bit overlapping as well. So so that's why it has got quite lots. And Khudak Nikaya is a very short discourses again, and it contains 14 discourses within it. And it is mainly used as a verses form, very nicely short and sweet verses, so that people understand and they can, take it and give example, that kind of thing. And always it is accompanied by the events that has led for this discourse kind of. So when I explain to that, you will understand a bit more. So let me talk about a bit of Digha Nikaya. Digha Nikaya is again, further divided into 3 divisions. The first division is division 1, which has got 13 suttas. I just want to give you a small flavor of what it contains by talking briefly about Brahmajala Sutta. That is the first sutra in division 1 of the Digha Nikaya. In this sutra, the Buddha addressed the monks in the context of a Brahmin called Supiya, who kept on criticizing the Buddha, but his own people called Brahmadatta continues to defend the Buddha. So this Supiya Brahmana always follows the Buddha and keep on, criticizing and saying bad things about the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. So the monks were fed up with the Supiya Brahmana. So the monks went to Buddha and said, this Supiya Brahman is always criticizing you, Lord, what should we do? Then the Lord Buddha has told them this. So what he said was, if someone praise or blame me, or the Dhamma, or the Sangha, do not get disturbed or get angry, as this will be a hindrance to you and to your practice. But if anyone says incorrect things about me, or the Dhamma, or the Sangha, then you must explain and say that that is incorrect, that is false, and that is not our way. So this is how Lord Buddha corrected the monks. Don't go with the criticism, but if they do anything wrong, just correct them. In short. Also, Lord Buddha again said that if others praise me or the Dhamma or the Sangha, you should acknowledge the truth of what it is true, saying that is correct, that is right, and that is our way, and that is found among us. This is how you should answer. This is just a brief. It is so much in detail. So if you read Brahmajala Sutra, then you will know. Same as there are so many sutras, so I'm just going to take a little bit name because you can look at it. Mahariyaphala Sutta. This is about the fruits of homeless life. And Sona Danda Sutta. This is Sona Danda is the qualities of the true Brahmin. When Lord Buddha was asked what is the true qualities of the Brahmin, then this is where he has explained what is Brahmin and what makes a Brahmin. Just because he is born in a Brahmin family doesn't make him a Brahmin. There are the qualities, these are the qualities. So if you go into that sutta, you will know what are the true qualities of Brahmin. Same as with so many others. The Subha Sutra means what is like Subha, morality, concentration of wisdom, kindness, so many things in here. So I've just given the names of the sutta. And division 2, it is actually the great division where you will be familiar with most of the suttas here. The one I have known, I have just highlighted it, like Mahanidana Sutta. This is the great sutta of the origination. Mahaparinibbana Sutta is the sutra that was the great passing of the Lord Buddha's last days, is about that. And Mahasamaya Sutta. Mahasamaya Sutta is the sutta that Lord Buddha has described when he was on the path, on the way to Lumbini, how the various celestial beings, devatas with great powers have come from, Tusta, Bhavana, Tavatis, Devloka, all, the Lord Buddha described everything that they are here. They are with this many people. And, so in that sutta, he has described extensively about the power of those gods and celestial beings as well. So I also have heard that this Mahasamaya Sutta is the sutta that the celestial beings really likes it. How do I know? Is that because I was listening to Dhamavdi Gurma's lecture one day, and she was telling me that on 13th July, I think her birthday will be coming soon, when in her birthday, she has gone to Lumbini and recited Paritrana, Mahaparitrana for seven days. So on 3rd, 4th or 5th day, the people who went along with her said that we haven't seen Lumbini properly. Can we not take a break and go around and have a look around then? Then Dhamavdi Gurma said, okay, let's do tomorrow. Then we will not do any Paritana, we'll just go around. So while she was lying down that evening, she heard some voices saying to her that, oh, tomorrow you are not going to do Mahaparitrana. At least can you not do that Mahasamaya Sutra? You know what? Yudimanto, Dudimanto, Vandavanto, yes, the one, that one. Then Gurma said, okay, I know what you mean. So when she woke up, suddenly there was nobody, but then she heard. So she recited only Mahasamaya Sutra for them. So this is how she was relating that the Devatas, they really like to listen to this Mahasamaya Sutra. And another one is Mahasatipatthana Sutta. Obviously, Mahasatipatthana Sutta is the great discourse about the foundation of mindfulness. This sutta Lord Buddha has given in the Kurukshetra. So whenever we read Mahasatipatthana Sutta, you can hear always, Evam me suttam ekam samayam bhagava kurusa biharati. Like it starts like that. So it was the long discourse about the mindfulness and how to do great meditation and then attain parinirvana. So these are the second division has got a lot of interesting suttas. And third one is the Patika division. They also have quite a lot, and I just picked up a couple of Chakravati Sihanada Sutra. This is the lion's roar on turning of the wheel of Dhamma. Aganyana Sutta, this is again about the knowledge of the beginning. And then Singalabhada Sutta, obviously Singalabhada Sutta we all are quite familiar with because Suman Bande has given a great length talk about Singalabhada Sutta, where Lord Buddha has given Singala, Putra, how a layman should behave and what are the things the layman should do and should not do. So that was really very interesting, and one should really look into this sutra, mostly the lay people. So what is the right thing, what is not right for the lay person to practice this way. Atanatya Sutta, again, this is actually protective verse, where we always recite for protection. Sangiti Sutra is the chanting together, and then Dasuttar Sutta is expanding decades. This is like that. And now we come to Majjhima Nikaya. So Dika Nikaya is all that we have explained. Now come to the Majjhima Nikaya. Majjhima Nikaya also has 152 medium length suttas. So obviously it's not possible for me to even name them in this because it will take ages. So I have just picked it up a couple of things that you will be able to relate. So one of them are Anapanasati Sutta. Obviously, everybody knows who are doing meditation about Anapanasati. So it is about mindfulness of breathing. And one of the most important teaching for the beginning and even for the veteran meditators, they will start meditation with Anapanasati, always breathing. The sutta in this, the sutta is the Buddha's road mapping for entire course of meditation practice, using the vehicle of breath meditation. The simple practice of mindfulness of breathing leads the practitioner gradually through 16 successive phases of development, culminating to the full awakening arhanship. And Maha Kamma Vivanga Sutra, it is the great exposition of karma, the greater analysis of action and reaction, and 2 lessons in the dangers of quick generalization. In the first, the Buddha points out that the perception of all feelings as stressful is not appropriate at all stages of the practice. So in the second, he says that he shows that generalizing too quickly on the basis of what one sees, especially in meditation, can lead to serious wrong views. Because while you are meditating, obviously, if you are, like very good meditator, a very strong meditator, you can see nimittas and you'll see various things, and you should not, generalize, oh, I have attained certain things because I have seen this. If you start doing like that, it will be a very detrimental for your practice. So this is what Lord Buddha has explained in this sutta. The Atha Vibhanga Sutra, it is analysis of the properties, a poignant story in which a wanderer searching for the Buddha meets the Buddha. Without realizing it, he recognizes his mistake only after the Buddha teaches him a profound discourse of 4 determination and the 6 properties of experience. An excellent illustration of the Buddha's statement. At the end, he says, those who see Dhamma will see me. So this is what was written in Atha Vibhanga Sutta. Satsa Vibhanga Sutta, Anathapindaka Sutta. Yeah, Anathapindaka Sutta is also very good. It is a time of death when Sariputta offers a deep teaching on non-clinging to ailing lay follower. Anathapindaka, everybody knows Anathapindaka. He's the wealthiest disciple of Lord Buddha who has bought Jetavana Mahavihara by putting the gold coin all over the field to buy this from Ajatasattu. So he is a great disciple of Lord Buddha at the time. So at the time, when at the deathbed, he was very, distressed. And then when he heard about non-clinging, he has, understood Buddha's teaching very clearly. Tripitaka Sutra is about 6 senses, how the contemplation of the 6 senses lead to an understanding of non-self and ultimately the awakening. Mahasunyata Sutra, also it is a discourse of emptiness, when the Buddha instructs Ananda on several practical aspects of the meditative dwellings in emptiness. We sort of pragya paramita, I think, a mode of awareness that can ultimately bring the meditator to the threshold of awakening. Sunyata. And Kaya Gaha Chitta, it is a mindfulness. Obviously, we all know about mindfulness, and it is very much, in conjugation of Anapanasati Sutra, they explain together. Most of these sutras, they do sometimes overlap. Samyukta Nikaya. Samyukta Nikaya, again, another Nikaya of the Tripitaka. This is the 3rd division. It contains 2,889 sutras. So it was grouped together into 5 sections or vaggas. In Pali, section means vagga. So each vagga is further divided into samyuktas, each of which in turn contains a group of suttas unrelated. That's why it is called samyuktas and are named according to the topics. Sometimes, they are grouping along with the subject. If it is to do with the Kosala and King Pasenjit, then they put in one Sagata Vagga. And if it is dealing with the Salayatana Vagga, Vedana, then they put in Slatin Vagga. So depending on what are the subjects you are dealing with, they put separately in that Vagga. So in Sagata Vagga, as I've told earlier, it deals mainly with the encounters of Devas and Mara. I will give little examples of that in my next slide. And Nidana Sutta, it talks about the dependent origination, which is Patit Samutpada, Khanda Vagga, which also talk about impermanence, and it also talk about the Hiri or Tapa. I think I hope most of you know about what is Hiri and what is Otapa. Those who don't know, this is one of the very important teaching of Lord Buddha. Hiri means shameful, doing. Otapa means aware of shameful doing, and Otapa means aware of shameful consequences. So if you are aware of shameful consequences, you will not do those shameful acts. So that is why Hiri Otapa, you always need to look at yourself and think that if I do this, will that cause the shameful consequences for me? If it's so, then I will not do it. That kind of self-awareness has said. I remember once in Azan Shah's life story, I have read that when he went to meet his teacher, Azan Man, he walked several days in northeastern Thailand. Finally, when he reached Azan Man's Vihara, and then at night after refreshing, he just sat down and asked, asked some teachings from Azan Man. And he only said two words, Hiri or Tapa. So as soon as Azan Man said Hiri or Tapa, because Azan Shah has already been very strong meditator, he understood what that mean. And that's all he took it, and he came back. He has practiced since then very, very sincerely. Until today, he has got so many disciples and monasteries all over the world. And another one is Salayatana Vagga, which is about dependent origination again. This is how ignorance, we know dependent origination, Abhija Pache, Sankara, Sankara Pache, Vijnana, Vijnana Pache, Nam Rupa Pache, Salayatana, all those things. I hope I don't need to say that. These things is a dependent origination. It talks about in Salayatana Vagga. Mahavagga is talk about Eightfold Path, which we should practice sincerely, which is Samma Ditti, Samma Sankalpa, Samma Vaja, Samma Kammanto, Samma Ajivo, Samma Vayamo, Samma Sati, Samma Samadhi, which is explained in this one, Dhammacakka Bhavatan Sutta. Some examples in Samatha Vagga is quite interesting. Before I say that, I think when we recite Mangala Sutra, that also is one of the examples of Samatha Vagga, because in my opinion, when one Deva comes and asks Lord Buddha, what is Mangala? People and Devas are not thinking Mangala. What is Mangala? Please tell us. So that's how the Mangala Sutra came. So Lord Buddha has told what is Mangala to that celestial being, the Deva Putra. So same way, there's some examples here is, standing there, the Devata asked to Lord Buddha, those living in the forest, peaceful and calm, of pure life, eating but one meal a day, how is they appear so radiant? And the Buddha replied, they sorrow not for what it is past, they have no longing for the future, the present is sufficient for them, hence it is they appear so radiant. So by having longing for the future, by sorrowing over what is in past, by these fools are withered up as a cut down tender reed. And another one, again, the Devata asks, possessing children, one finds pleasure in them. A herdsman is pleased with his cattle. Man's possession bring pleasure to them. Without possessions, he find no pleasure. For that, Lord Buddha answers the Deva. Possessing children, one grieves for them. A herdsman grieves for his cattle. Man's possessions bring grief to them. Without possession, he has no grief. So the monks who have left all the possession, he doesn't have any grief because he doesn't have any attachment. Again, another last one from the Deva is, what is man's good companion? What is it that instructs him? And what enjoying is a mortal from all suffering released? And the Buddha answered, faith is man's good companion. It is wisdom that instructs him. And Nibbana, enjoying a mortal from all suffering, is released. So these are these encounters that, the Devatas come and ask questions to Lord Buddha. Also, there are some encounters with Maras as well. So mostly the Maras, they come when the monks, when they are, alone, they tend to allure them, or they tend to say, oh, you're so young, you're so vigor, why you're wasting your youth in this being a monk? Go and enjoy your life. That kind of, they try to, poison the mind of the monks. These so many encounters like that is there as well in that sutta. So next one is Anguttara Nikaya. So Anguttara Nikaya is the fourth division of the Sutta Pitaka, and it consists of several thousand suttas arranged in 11 books, which we call Nipatas. According to numerical, there are 1 to 11 books. For example, the first Nipata, or the book, is for 1, contains suttas concerning single topic, and second Nipata contains 2 topics, similar kind of topic, like tranquility and insight. And 2 people, one can never adequately repay one's parents. Another about 2 kinds of happiness. So all these 2 are in second Nipata. Third is about 3 things, like 3 kinds of praiseworthy, and another 3 kinds of offenses, like that. It goes so on. So Anguttara Nikaya is all like that, that they have a grouping. So Kutak Nikaya, the last one for Sutta Pitaka. Kutak Nikaya, as I've said earlier, consists of the short verses, very catchy verses, but yet it explains and it gives such a profound, teaching of Lord Buddha. Dhammapad is one of them. So we all know Dhammapad, and we all enjoy reading Dhammapad's verses. In our Lumbini Buddha Dhamma Society, we always recite Dhammapad and its meaning, and also the consequences how it came in about. So it is mostly it's ethical teaching. And next one is Udana. Udana has 82 sayings of the Buddha, mostly again in verses. It's accompanied by the story of what occasioned it or what preceded it. Iti Buddhaka, again, it is said, like with which each verses begins. They always said, thus it's said, kind of. So it is collection of 112 short suttas about Buddha's ethical teaching. Sometimes they overlap each other, but then, it's always interesting to read. Sutta Nipata, again, it is about, Sutta Nipata is again concerned about the simple faith of a hermit. Bimana Bhattu, there's 85 poems on the happiness of a person reborn in heavenly realm, and on the worthy deeds that led to his reward, this reward. So what kind of things if you do, then you can born in a heavenly, realms, kind of. And Peta Bhattu, again, Peta Bhattu is talking about the Preta, the stories about the dead, and also how when you do bad things, how you can, be born in the Preta Loka. And what kind of pretas are there, how they suffer, that kind of things they in Petapattu. Theragatha and Therigatha is about the monks and Vichunis. Jataka is about the Buddha's stories of his past lives. Nidana about exposition. Sambhidha Magga, it's about way of analysis of Abhidhamma. Adodhana Sutta is about the legends of Buddhist saints like Sariputta, Mahamagla, and Kashyapa, so on, Shivali, all those. And Buddha Vamsa this is a history of previous Buddhas, mainly for 24 Buddhas. We know that we have 28 Buddhas. We know about Sakyamuni Buddha, but it is said that first 3 Buddhas, Tandankara, Medankara, Sarnankara, we don't have any knowledge about them in the course, but from Dipankara Tathagata onwards, we know their life story, how he became Buddha and what he did, that kind of. So because during the Dipankara Buddha's time only, the present Sakyamuni Buddha was born as a Sumedha Rishi, and then that time he was told that you will be a Buddha in future. This is what there's a legend says. And Charya Pitaka is about the conduct. So third one is Abhidhamma Pitaka. Abhidhamma Pitaka, obviously everybody has heard about Abhidhamma because it's the third Pitaka, is one of the higher doctrine, and it's very different from Pitaka, Sutta Pitaka and Vinaya Pitaka, because this is slightly different way. And also I have come to understand that initially it was Vinay Pitaka and Sutra Pitaka. Abhidhamma Pitaka was added a bit later. So here in Abhidhamma, the suttas are reworked into a schematized system of general principle that might be called like Buddhist psychology or philosophy. In the Abhidhamma, the generally dispersed teaching and principles of the suttas are organized in the coherent science of Buddhist doctrine. So according to the Abhidhamma, all phenomena of existence may be classified on the three ultimate terms of realities, Paramattha Satya. Number one is consciousness, state of consciousness, which is chitta, and mental concomitants, which is chetasikas, and corporability, it's a rupa. And the fourth they have included by nibbana as well. So mainly the Abhidhamma deals with the chitta and individually how your chitta keeps on moving. So Abhidhamma, the most intricate subject of Buddhism to undertake, although it means to clarify simply what the Buddha has explained in the suttas. But in brief, Abhidhamma deals with the both body or rupa, the form, and chitta, which is nama, visual is nama, rupa. Nama is chitta, rupa is the physical forms, and amalgamation of nama, rupa makes then chetasikas and things, thought process go on. So also is further, it defines the consciousness, analyzes thought processes, and description of thought processes that arise from five sense doors, as we can say, eye for eyesight, nose for smell, tongue for taste, ear for hearing, and skin for touch. So all these five indriyas are the doors that will give information to the mind, and then mind will go into thought process and, it's very beautiful. Oh, it's not nice. Oh, it's very bad taste. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, very nice hearing. So that's how we are intricately linked with the thought processes, and Abhidhamma deals with that. They will break into all small things, and then they will, and then, it will, the whole idea is learn to separate us from this attachment. So it very intricately defines and discusses the relationship of the mind and matter leading to dependent origination. So as I've said, ignorance, avidya. If you are ignorant, then ignorance will lead to sankhara. Sankhara will lead to vijnana. Vijnana will see nama rupa. That means mind and rupa is attached. The mind and rupa will lead to salayatana. Salayatana will lead to fasta, means touch. When you touch something, vedana, feeling comes. As soon as feeling comes, nice or not nice, tanha develops. After tanha, then upadana comes, and upadana is bhava, that things happens. After bhava is jara, means born, whatever is birth takes place. And from birth, jati, jara, vyadi, like soka parideva dukkha do manaso payasai dukkha. So all the dukkha sufferings starts from that. This is what it talks about. So one famous Buddhist scholar said that Abhidhamma deals with what we find within us, around us, and what we aspire to find. So while these phenomena are in suttas treated under the aspect of five groups, khandas, like rupa khanda, as I said, rupa means physical forms, vedana means feeling, sanya means perception. When you see something, you perceive your way. So everybody perceives in different ways, same kind of, if you see one bird, one person will perceive as a beautiful, another person will say, oh, it's ugly. The perception differs. And mental formation of that, sankhara, it starts mental formation, and vijnana, consciousness. So again, as we go on, we know that Rup is like all forms are impermanent, vedana impermanent, sanya impermanent, sankhara impermanent, and vijnana impermanent. Then at the end, again, we say, God Buddha says that everything is anatta. Rupa anatta, vedana anatta, sanya anatta, sankhara anatta, and vijnana anatta. So it's non-self. So this is what it talks in detail in Abhidhamma. So rupa, vedana, sanya, sankhara, vedana, the Abhidhamma treats them generally under three aspects: consciousness, mental concomitants, and corporability, like chitta, chetasika, and rupa, which I have said earlier. So Abhidhamma is divided into 7 sections again. Dhammasangini is enumeration of the kushala, akushala, and abhyagata. It's quite a lot. Kushala chitta, akusala chitta, abhyagata. Abhyagata means neutral. Kusala is good, akusala is bad, apakala is neither good nor bad, that kind of. So in relation to the consciousness of chitta. So it's really, really deals with the chitta and our state of mind. Vivanga, a book of treatises. Dhatu Katha it discusses about the elements, Prithvi Dhatu, Vayu Dhatu, Ras Dhatu, that's the fluid, and Agni Dhatu. So those four elements that causes what you are, your body is considered 4 elements, and it talks about the 4 elements. Pugala Panyati is description about the individually, and Kathavastu is also there. If there's a controversy, they are talking about the controversies. Yamag is about book of pairs, and Patthana is a book of origination. So this is only a brief heading I have put because I can't go in depth. So these all are Tripitaka. So I finished the Tripitaka, but I can't not say about Pita Ketar Gatha, which is Milinda Prashna. So this is separate from Milinda Prashna. Everybody knows about the Milinda Prashna, where King Milinda in around 1st century BC, when he conquered, he seems to be coming from Farsi, from Rome or something. He has conquered and he came to in Indian subcontinent, and then he comes to know about all these teachings of Buddha. But he being a very learned person himself, very critical, he doesn't just believe. So he had got lots of questions about impermanence, anatma, rebirth, and karma and nirvana. So this is the discourse between, or debate or discourses between the very, very learned senior monk Bhante Nagasena and the Milinda. So there are so many interesting questions that he asks, and how Bhante Nagasena gives examples after examples after examples to make him understand. So at the end, King Milinda was very happy and pleased to understand what all is, about impermanence, anatma, rebirth, and karma and nirvana. So this is just the tablet form of thing to make it easy to understand what this Tripitaka means and what it contains. I just put in a table. The other one, last one, I cannot talk about the Visuddhi Marga, the path of purification, because this is one of the things that we always come across. So this was my interest as well, to see what is Visuddhi Marga, because it is not Tripitaka, it is not anything, but we do hear Visuddhi Marga, which is the path of purification. So when I learned that, I thought I'll just give a little bit of briefly about this Visuddhi Marga. Visuddhi Marga is the great treatise on Buddhist practice and Theravada Abhidhamma, written by Bhadanta Acharya Buddha Ghosha, apparently in the 5th century in Sri Lanka. What I have learned is that, at some point there were no Pali, books in Indian subcontinent. Everything was translated in Sinhalese apparently, and it was only in Sri Lanka. So Bhante Buddha Ghosha went to Sri Lanka, stayed many years. He translated all Sri Lankan Tripitaka into Pali again and brought back to us. So today what we are reading Pali is, it is apparently said that it was he who has translated. So in this, it is Visuddhi Marga is a manual condensing and systematizing the 5th century understanding and interpretation of the Buddha's path as maintained by the elders of the Mahavira monastery in Anuradhapura in Sri Lanka. So it is considered the most important Theravada text outside of the Tripitaka canon and scriptures, and it is described as the hub of a complete and coherent methods of exercise of the Tripitaka. So if you don't want to read all the Tripitaka, I think if you read Visuddhi Marga, you will have a good flavor, in-depth flavor of Tripitaka. So the structure of the Visuddhi Marga based on Ratha Vinita Sutta, which describe the progression from the purity of discipline to the final destination of Nirvana in 7 steps. Sila Visuddhi, Chitta Visuddhi, Dristi Visuddhi, Sankha Visuddhi, Sankha Vicharana Visuddhi, Magga Jnana Dasana Visuddhi, Patipada Jnana Dasana Visuddhi, Jnana Dasana Visuddhi. And so these all are the ways that you are clarifying or purifying yourself. So in summary, Visuddhi Marga is composed of 3 sections, which is Sila, Samadhi, and Pragya. So that is it. So it is indeed a very vast, so I think I have not bored you all. Those are the, people who are interested in after this talk, if you want to know any sutta, if you want to read, only because there's no, it's very difficult to read all at once. You can choose one sutta that you like, and then you can look if it is in the, whether it's Digha Nikaya or in Majjhima Nikaya, or so it will be easier to read. So my whole purpose is to give a brief flavor of how vast Buddha's teachings are, and also how it was well organized and beautifully to make us easy to read. However, at the end, in the end, I believe to lead a true Buddhist life, I believe there is no need to well verse in all these suttas. All we need to practice is 5 precepts and understand fully the Four Noble Truths and follow the Eightfold Path. Thank you very much. Sorry, I think it was a long talk, yes. So I sincerely thank you all for listening. This very interesting and intricate and very, theoretic talk. I hope you have some idea of what Tripitaka is now. Thank you. I think I've talked a lot.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Rasana Jo. That was quite elaborating, which is quite important. And is that I'm quite happy, and I'm sure all of us are quite happy to listen to that talk, because that is like, as a mapping is quite important in, when we go for a journey also, that to have a map in front of us is always good when we start journey. So same way in a Dhamma journey also, as Dr. Joel mentioned, that how in a Dhamma talks that the name of the sutras are taken, that, as it is said by the Buddha in such and such sutras. So to have a knowledge, even in a brief, that now, in future, if you hear such a mention, that we always, I'm quite clear that, what the Bhante or Gurmas are talking about. So it is quite elaborating, which is, I'm quite happy. And, I knew it will be quite good talk anyway, in a good hand.
I was thinking that I have, keep on talking, because I can't see nobody's expression, because so I was thinking whether I really gave too much. I thought.
That is, so I'm quite happy, and on behalf of everybody, I'm sure we would like to thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, the Tripitaka, as at the beginning I said, is quite important. So I won't, because it is extensively said in detail, that I'm not going to add very much. That just to briefly mention that yes, this at the end, you talk about Visuddhimagga, because after the after the Sangayana, that Dhammasoka, King Dhammasoka sent various monks and nuns to different parts of the world as a Dhammaduta, and that's how the Venerable Arhat Mahinda went to Sri Lanka. Whereas in Nepal, we have a Charumati, Charumati is also daughter of King Asoka, Emperor Asoka. That how we, we got Buddhism at that time, obviously, with the various, difficulties politically, that the Buddhism in Nepal disappeared, and, that's what happened. But in Sri Lanka, pure Theravada Buddhism remained. So when Buddha Ghosa Bhante from South India, when he went to his teacher, that he would like to, further study about Buddhism, that the teacher said that, look, due to various, invasion, in India, that how Buddhism disappeared. So the pure Buddhism at that time was only in Sri Lanka. So that's how Bhante Buddha Ghosa ended up in Sri Lanka, in Aluvihara. And when he went there, that the Bhante, the head monk there asked, who are you, why you are here? And obviously he said, I'm from India. And, there is no Tripitaka for us to study further. So I heard you got here. Can I, and I would like to translate. I would like to translate them into Pali so that in future, more people can learn. Now, the head monk, the Nayaka Bhante, wanted to test Buddha Ghosa Bhante, how capable he is. And that's when a gatha, a 4-line stanza was given to Buddha Ghosa Bhante. Okay, this is the gatha. You write, like an essay or explain this to me, and then I will decide whether I should hand over you the Tripitaka to translate, whether you are capable to justify that you translate accurately and properly in Pali. So the Gatha, I'm sure is it is said
Anto jata it has
Anto jata bahi jata
jata
Antang Gotama Puchami ko imang.
yeah.
Well, what is the answer?
And there's a problem inside, there's a problem outside, problem everywhere. Who's going to
It's a tangle inside,
tangle inside,
tangle
yeah.
outside, and tangle in tangle, So how can you untangle the tangle? That's the question. So the sile patithai narosa panyo chittam panyansa bhave avtapi nipako bhikkhu so imang vijataye jatang. And that is where the sila samadhi panya is mentioned. And to clarify it, to elaborate it, a Visuddhimagga was produced. So Visuddhimagga is quite heavy book. So when you said, if you can read Visuddhimagga, you will understand Tripitaka. If you understand Visuddhimagga, you become enlightened. That's where you are.
Because there's a 7 steps for purification, isn't it?
Yeah. So the whole Tripitaka is, included in that. So
yes,
that's how it was written. So I won't go further. Let's go with the discussion, and then
I just wanted to say that, like before I was so entangled, what is where is Visuddhimagga, what is, now I feel I am very clear now what is what. So I feel happy with myself.
Yeah. And you made us clear as well. Okay, Tripitaka is quite important, as I said. Okay, let's go to,
Rasana is asking.
Wait a minute. I'm going to allow you all to unmute yourself. So first, yes, Dr. Rajanji, can you unmute and put your question, please, or your suggestion?
Thank you very much for this, because even we just with the mapping, you realize that how minuscule your knowledge is. So I'm not surprised, how vast the Buddha's teachings are. And there's just one question I want to ask. Somewhere I saw this Mahasunyata Sutta, and I thought the Sunyata was the doctrine given by Nagarjuna, who was born, who lived around 150 to 250 AD. So about 600, 700 years after Buddha. And apparently it's already given by Buddha, looks like. And I don't know what the similarities are between those two discourses, but it will be really interesting to see whether it's actually been taught by Buddha, because what Nagarjuna tried to validate his teachings or doctrines was, he said, these are the doctrines that came actually from Buddha. These were the Buddha's words. So
I don't have that much knowledge to answer so much in depth, but I feel that Sunyata obviously is what Lord Buddha has told in, what's that? Pragyaparamita. Pragyaparamita is a Sunyata, isn't it? He has explained so much in depth. That is Nirvana Sunyata. I think, Amriti, you will be able to explain much more better. Because
Pragyaparamita was written much later.
No, what is written is obviously later, but this is what Lord Buddha has taught.
let us not complicate here. Mahapanya Paramita Sutra, they are in a Mahayana tradition.
Yeah.
So these are not in a Theravada.
Not in a Theravada. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
But it is about sunyata.
Yeah, but we have to, okay, let us just give me brief explanation here. That when the Buddha taught, at the time of the Buddha, there was no recording system, no writing, no recording, everything was in a memory. So that's how they were memorized. And, and that's why, in the Tripitaka it comes, thus have I heard that Buddha, taught this sutra in such and such a place, in such and such incident. So thus have I heard is a very common terminology used. So this was, so to know that during the time of the Buddha, everything was by memory, memorizing. And when, as Subhadda's Abhadda Vachana at the, the dying bed, Buddha's, that Mahakashyapa Bhante taught, no, we should have a Sanghayana and then clarify. And then at that, whatever the decision was taken, these sutras, like I said, Digha Nikaya or Majjhima Nikaya, they were handed to various teachers. Okay, from now on, you are responsible for Digha Nikaya, or you are responsible for Majjhima Nikaya. And what they did was they memorized it by heart, They memorized by their heart and they taught to their pupils. So they were known by that name as well, that teacher is a Digha Nikayika, or they are Majjhima Nikayika. It means they are the responsible of that. And that's how it carried on. And that's how it was only written in the 3rd century that, Tripitaka was written in Aluvihara when they had a 3rd century Buddhist conference. And what it is, that is because that time when the Buddha passed away, various schools arose, because when Buddha taught, and later on said that, okay, say Bhante Mahakashyapa came and said certain such a thing, Buddha had taught this way, why you are doing in such and such a way? Their answer was, no, when Buddha visited our village, he taught us this way, So because there were no written format, and there is no centralizing every teaching in one place, that what I heard is different from, say, when Buddha visited Slough, and what Dr. Dharma Sakyaji heard, I never heard that. So that the same way when he visited, different villages, different provinces, and they end up saying, no, I was, when Buddha visited me, Buddha taught in this way. Now, obviously, it could happen because Buddha's teaching pattern is looking and understanding the congregation, the people. He taught fitting to their knowledge, fitting to their capacity. Buddha explained as same teaching in a different way, so that the listener or the congregation can understand, grasp the teachings of the Buddha. So from outside, it looks like Buddha is teaching totally different thing, which is not. He's only explaining in a different way. So if you look at Dhammacakkappavattana Sutra, the whole teaching is there itself, because that's what you shouldn't go to too extreme. And then you should practice the middle path. And then you have the Four Noble Truths, and then the path to follow, which is Arya Ashtangik Marga. So the whole teaching is there. And then once you practice the Arya Ashtangik Marga, the realization, the nirvana is there. But then when later on, by that listening, the Bhante Kondanya, he became enlightened out of 5 ascetics. But other 4 didn't get enlightened because they couldn't grasp it. They said, hang on a minute, what is the Buddha talking about? But Venerable Kondanya, he became enlightened. And then only when Buddha gave a second sermon, then only they realized, Buddha was, so the different way of teaching was there. And that's what, people got confused and they said, no, this, and that's how the different schools start rising up. And that's why you have various schools of teachings come to exist. So various teachers started their own teaching and saying, this is what I heard. And that's how various Nikai came, and then you have a Hinayana, lower vehicle, etc. came up. And that's how the Mahayana came up, because with the philosophy aspect. Because when Buddha passed away, as we know from the various sutras, how various Brahmins used to come to the Buddha and debate on soul, Atma, and what is Atma, what is Paramatma, what is life after death, what is Sunyata, emptiness, all these things, topic came to the Buddha. That's why you see in the Tripitaka, And then when Buddha passed away, those Brahmins came to the monks, and monks couldn't answer their question because they were so philosophical, the teachings. And that's why the monks, certain monks start thinking, no, we should build up philosophical, philosophical teaching. That's when all these Mahayana sutras start to come, all these Panyaparamita sutras and all that, all these things. And that's how it became Mahayana Sutras. But Theravada, because they followed the teachings from the elder to pupil, so Theravada means from elder to pupil. The teachings carried away from teacher to pupil and teacher to pupil. That's why it became Theravada. So you don't get this Mahapanya Sutra in Theravada, so don't confuse there. But so these sutras came quite late. When
even if it's not, the sutra is not there, but sunyata is something Lord Buddha has told anyway.
It's the same teaching, but they had to, because they had to debate with the existing, very, all these Brahmins and all this, they were very rigid with their, Atma, and there is a caste system. There was all these things. They had to come up with the various philosophical answers. And that's why all these Mahayana texts start coming to exist. So which in Theravada, they said, no, we stick with the purity of the teaching, let not mix with it, otherwise we end up saying that what is Buddha's teaching and what is developed later on. So it can be mixed up. So Theravada stick with as it is from that time. And whereas the Mahayana built up, these various sutras, various philosophical. So in Mahayana, you get lots of philosophical sutras, lots and lots, that which in Theravada you won't have it. Same teaching, but based on that, they expanded it. And that in the 13th century, when the Tantric start, Tantric in Hinduism start coming to take place, then the Buddhism also, at that time, some of Buddhists, they follow. Then we have a Tantric Buddhism, which is Vajrayana, also came to exist that time. And they added additional to it with all these tantras and mantras. So from original point of view, we think it's the addition to the origin teaching, but they say, no, this is the Buddha's teaching. And Theravada only is the beginning of the teachings of the Buddha. And when it developed and manifested, we are the final product. And that's what they say. So that's how it builds up. Mahapanya Paramita Sutta is in not Theravada. Okay?
Okay. I think Dharma has a question.
Yes, Dr. Dharma Sakju.
Okay, Rasana, I have got one comment and one question, if it is okay.
Yes.
Comment is from myself and Pramila. You have done very well.
Oh, thank you so much.
Very well. But listening to you, we just realize how vast the Tripitaka is. And if I have to do that, the talk you did today, it will take me 10 years, I think.
Oh, no. Everything is available out there.
No, I know, but it is so vast. I didn't realize it is so vast. I know, I think Tripitaka is 27 volumes of books. You have done very well. And listening to you, both myself and Pramila have some idea about the Tripitaka, about the various Pitakas. Vinaya Pitaka, Sutta Pitaka, and Abhidhamma Pitaka. And one comment is about the Buddha Ghosa's book on the Visuddhimagga. Once I asked Ajahn Suchito during a 10-day retreat, because I was having problem with Satipatthana Sutta. And Ajahn Suchito told me, if you really want to understand Satipatthana Sutta very well, I think you should refer to Buddha Ghosa's book on Visuddhimagga. And Amritji was very kind to give me a copy of that. It was so interesting that if I read one page, I go to sleep.
That's very interesting.
And when I asked the Buddhist monks in London Buddhist Vihara and Richard Jones, who passed away, they said they take 1 year to study Visuddhimagga in London Buddhist Vihara. So it is not an easy book. Even the monks take long time to study.
No, first I started with Visuddhimagga because I thought that will tell me more. Then I got more confused. Then I thought, what is Tripitaka? So I need to look into it. So that's how I went in. So Visuddhimagga, obviously, it came much later. Yeah. So, Buddha Ghosa, Acharya Buddha Ghosa has amalgamated it and made it more simpler in his, maybe people who have been, meditating or studying a lot will be easier for them to follow. But for us, it will take time, I guess.
No, Ajahn Suchito say he doesn't understand. So
obviously. I think as I said at the end, no need to understand all those things. If you do 5 precepts very sincerely and understand 4 Noble Truths, which is very difficult also, and Eightfold Path, I think that's how we need. I think Asta has got a question.
No, can I ask a question now? I've commented.
Sorry.
My question, one question.
Can
Patimokkha.
Okay, yeah.
No, Amrita, you want something? No, you can say that. I will ask the question and then
what I meant is I will decide who will question next, okay?
Oh, okay.
Oh, say right.
Oh, the host, okay, sorry.
Patimokkha, Amriti, under Rasana, about Patimokkha. As I understand, you said Patimokkha is studied every month. But in Amravati and the most Vihara, Patimokkha is recited every fortnight on full moon day and new moon day.
I thought it's every full moon day means it comes every month, isn't it?
No, full moon day and new moon day.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is done in Amravati. Maybe it is done the same way in the other moon.
I don't know whether it practiced in Nepal or not, because I've never heard Patimokkha in Nepal. But when I was doing Ajahn Anand's retreat, I heard them, reciting Patimokkha and then asking forgiveness from the senior. That's where I saw, and then I knew that in Amravati they do Patimokkha Day as well.
No, they do twice a week. New moon and
if it's because
and the
people who don't
question on guys, there are 227 Vinaya rules for Buddhist monks, but there are many more Vinaya rules for Bhikkhuni.
300 and more. I have said that.
So is Patimokkha doesn't include the Vinaya rules for Bhikkhuni?
No.
It has to for both.
So it has. So that means Patimokkha has more than 227 Vinaya rules.
Okay.
The 300 something for female Bhikkhunis, I think, but it was not written anywhere.
Yeah.
Bhikkhuni also have the same rules what monks have, but they have some extra
rules. Yeah.
The extra rule was added because mainly for the safety of women, because like the simple example is like a monks could go to the jungle alone and meditate in a kuti, whereas a bhikkhuni, as a woman, at the beginning they were also allowed as monks, but there were lots of accidents happen because they couldn't protect themselves, because as a woman, physically they were not capable, and that which is understanding. And the Buddha added extra Vinaya rules in such a way that nuns are not allowed to travel alone in a jungle or in a rural area. They have to have a monk with them, so that they are protected and they're secure in such a way, that there are additional rule, just make sure they are more protected and, but yes, Patimokkha, there are 4 Patimokkha for monks, and I think for nuns, I forgot, is it 4 or a little bit more they have? Yeah. Okay, so there is a question in.
Thank you very much.
Before I saw a raising hand by our listener, but before that, there is in a chat room, Damodar Pradhanji said, I am requesting Dr. Rasana to elaborate the difference between Jataka and Buddhavansa.
Oh, I can tell that.
Yes.
Jataka is Sakyamuni Buddha's previous life. It's a stories of the previous life. Obviously, Sakyamuni Buddha has to become Buddha. He has to do like 108 lives. Then he has to be as a, what is that? He has to do good things and paramita in all the lives.
Dasaparamita.
Dasaparamita, yeah. But Buddha Bangsa is about the previous Buddhas. Like we have got 28 Buddhas, including the Sakyamuni Buddha. Tandankara, Mahavira, Medankara, Sarnankara, Dipankara, Kaudinya, Mangala, Sukadaya, Sudato. Oh, I know all 28 because I can't be reciting here. But so it is all about the previous Buddhas.
There is a sutra.
Yeah, there's the Tandankara, Mahavira, Medankara, Mahayaso. Yeah, 28 Buddhas. But those are the previous Buddhas. Okay. So as I've said, we know about only 24 Buddhas because Tandankara, Medankara, Sarnankara. We don't know anything about those 3 Buddhas. From Dipankara onwards, only we knew something. So, I mean, Sakyamuni Buddha, we already know. So 24 Buddhas we know, but then the rest we don't know. So this is about the previous Buddhas. Maybe Amrit, can tell how many years that when Buddha comes after how many years? One in every.
No, it is millions and millions of
millions
years.
Like
Till the Buddha Sasana exists, yeah. Till the Buddha Sasana exists, there is no require for another Buddha. So how do we know the Buddha Sasana is existing? Is if a person can say a word Buddha, it means the Buddha Sasana exists. So the time will come when the people don't know any teaching, but they can say Buddha. So if they can say Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, it means there is still the Buddha Sasana existing. And then when the time permits, then the future Buddha comes. So when we come with these 28 Buddhas, if you visit Lumbini, if you Lumbini, you got the Sakyamuni Buddha, there is an Asoka pillar. Have you visited Kapilavastu in Nepal? There are 3 more pillars. Kakusanda, Konagamana, and Kashyapa. All 3 Buddha, including Sakyamuni Buddha, 4 Buddhas were born in Nepal. I don't know how many of you know that, but make sure, please, that if
I didn't know that, no.
Yeah, if you visit Lumbini, Lumbini has a 1 pillar, which is Sakyamuni Buddha. But within Nepal, there is about a half an hour bus drive. If you can go by car also, which is be quicker. There are 3 pillars in Kapilavastu, Nepal, okay, not in India, Nepal. And you can see 3 more pillars, Asoka pillars. This is erected by the Emperor Asoka. Kakusanda, Konagamana, and Kashyapa Buddhas were also born in Nepal. So that is the historical evidence we have there. And other Buddhas, we don't have a Asoka pillar in that sense. But yes, the Buddha Vansa is, yes.
The only thing I don't understand was like why all Buddhas are, their birth is only around this area only. Why they don't born in somewhere else? Well, because this was one question one Thai person asked, why Buddha didn't born in Thailand? Why always in Lumbini or in Indian subcontinent? I don't know. We don't know how to answer this.
For that, I don't have an answer for that. But if you look, I think lots of truth seekers have been born in the Indian subcontinent, isn't it?
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah. So Ashta Prajapati, I didn't see his hand. Is he still?
He's gone. He is put down now.
Because I said I will decide. Okay, Asta Prajapati, still you are there to ask question or?
Namaste, Dai. I know time boys. It's okay. I'm 4 बजे सिध्याउने हैन टाइम भइसक्यो इट्स ओके I just wanted to make a quick comment about the ending, which I really like. I think
Thank you.
quite often the focus is on the Srotmaya Panya or Chintanmaya Panya, whereas you get knowledge through the listening, reading, or hearing, or through reflections. But I think what Didi said was, in the end, is the following the Panchashila and learning about the Four Noble Truths and Ashtanga Marga and practice. I think the practice is, for me, in my own experience, practice is absolutely the key, because lots of these questions comes and during my university days, I used to study so much of the scriptures and everything, and ask so many conflicting views and everything. It's practice is really what I think is the importance, because Buddha's always said, within every one of us, there is a Buddha. We just have to awaken it. Buddha is within us. Every human being has the capacity to get there, right? But I think that the practice is often, the priority really has to be under practice, as well as obviously Srotamaya Panya and Chintanmaya Panya is important for inspirations. But so I just wanted to make that comment that practice is really, really important in my.
Yeah, I 100% support you, Astaji, because after coming to UK, we understood how important practice is, because you might know so many things about Buddha if you don't practice, and if you're not doing Samavata, if you're not doing even Panchashila, even if you talk high and mighty things, people can judge you. It doesn't look nice on you if you are talking about high and mighty about Lord Buddha's teaching, when you yourself do tell lies right and left. So that itself goes, to the zero. So we need to meditate. Meditation is very important, and we follow Ajahn Chah a lot for meditation. And he also says a lot, saying that you don't need to go all, theoretical bit. All you need to do is sit and do meditate. You will understand itself. It will come from inside.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions and suggestions? So that was quite good talk we had today. I think everybody.
I was hoping Suman Bande will be there too, but then unfortunately, they were not there. So
that's fine. That's
fine,
Bande's, yeah. I mean,
I thought they will
be.
Because they have got lot of knowledge, isn't it? They have been studying all the time.
Yeah, I mean that today's talk is just to go through the mapping of Tripitaka, not to go in one by one sutras.
No.
Which is quite, so mapping wise, that is quite good.
Thank you.
So I'm sure that a lot of us get quite interested in learning some of those sutras which were mentioned there. And there are quite many sutras, to explore. And yeah, thank you very much for today's talk. So if there is no any further questions, are we going to end now? Yes.
Just one request, Rasana Bajracharya. Could you please share the slides?
Oh yeah, why not?
How
do I say? How do I send?
You can send by email.
To you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'm going to conclude.
Can you send it to me as well?
Oh yes, yeah. Anybody who wants, just let me know and send the email. I can send it to you.
Wait a minute.
My sister has got one question here.
Yeah. Hem Sakki, your sister. Okay. Unmute, and please unmute and put your question. Taidisa.
Unmute ya.
Unmute yana.
Mata unmute ya. Ma napa mic unmute yala.
Mic unmute, please. Mic unmute ya mo saat hai isko.
Jula.
Oh, Jila.
Jila.
Mapping bal gaya ole tata tosna khushi.
Thank you.
मुझे किताब गल के अपना होगा
Jila. All internet. Ala jim targam daino yo kuch kitab Gmail on chaya bijao du mula suban daino. I was looking on with the Nikaya, digging Nikaya, but last one you wanna visit him out. I was looking at that. Also, I have got reference in internet. It was very interesting for me as well. You could say quite interesting as well. You can keep looking. Abhidhamma was very interesting. A little bit I understood. Funeral chanting Abhidhamma funeral chanting is all about Abhidhamma. You know, Kusala chitta, akusala chitta, abhyakarta chitta. If fuka ho gayu, depending on origin, fuka will recite Abhidhamma ultimately. Indriya, fuka Indriya bare. Bistana Triaolga. I was happy.
Mapping ya also going to be a philosopher and you will.
She is a one of educated philosopher among us.
Critic Rasana Bajracharya. He is my critic. I have to always ask him, and he corrects me, and then his critic is very important. So he is my my teacher, indirect teacher.
Thank him too.
My Dinesh Lal is here.
Okay.
At least thank you very much for listening. I was glad that I saw you and Yemdai.
Okay, thank you very much.
Suvandai also is there. His picture is not there, but he's there. Suvandai is there. He is not Suvandai. He's my eldest brother-in-law.
Okay.
I thank him for giving all the the material for me.
Okay. Should I make small clarification?
Yes, please.
But is a clarification where I may be wrong. I don't have the deep knowledge. Everybody
is understanding.
Okay.
No, they are
good. Sunni Badi who control Nagarjuna, 5th century.
Can you speak?
Outside Tripitaka, Bhagan Buddha teaching Maku, this is completely new philosophy. Completely wrong. We doesn't choose something so the correction Yamauna do. Tarasa would Bilkula Maku Tasa Fuka Babo sound. Tarasa the Bhagan Buddha the name Tarsa Tebiado. Anatma Bad down the Atma do Ganyamble, Atma Murgadai. Atma Murga has an Atma do. Duta Muru Murtha do. But I'm clear Maradon. Dio Ligimur has a Dio Muru. Dio Murla has a Dio do. As a to Dhavas the Bhagan Buddha, the name, she's a pretty battery, dependent ordination, so she Magaduni. Dependent ordination, cause and effect, or cause and condition of Gu Kawini. Sooner she read that soon cause the Damala. Cause when we be able to kill all those causes. Condition of Bria Mukta. One Buddha, the divinity ordination, so is clearly the so is work. Meoji is so Chudasa. To the Achita, Duku, to Aristotle, Duku Nivaran Yapati, good Lokani. One ultimately, then you have a dependent wordness, one other good then ignorance at the time, ignorance, the Katamia for Dasa. We didn't season Rasa, थुदन दुखनादन निवारण जिगा धेराउडु खैम ए सुन्ने बात देव वो गए तर इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू कन्विन्स नि तो
convince now see particular comments and meditation now ya sia all kidin convince jiga wo suna na explain ya for you cheese mo cha this is something to perceive
ए ज्यादा नि थुदन लिपदन भगवान बुद्ध क्रेडा मयु गतो नि थुदन सुन्ने बारे न नागर दुनिया वो खा छा चीजन बजरियान तुवा सा छिसन बजरियान त्यास मोस्टली जनी अथवा जनी मायान त्यास मोस्टली जन छा थेरबा हिनियान हो 내가 옆에 놔두니 어느 오해 먹고 되기 심하더니 구양 좀 that is wrong. 누니 지라야마 매우 비수디 마르거나 라스나더니 와 아웃사이드 트리피터 달니 아웃사이드 트리피터 먹거든요 원하니
먹고 지지 outside tripitaka songo gu चाहिँ शुद्ध okay it has come later it is totally outside but it is explained about Tripitaka
रचना क्वेरन जुदाउदनी साजा विशुद्धि मार्गहरुका वो शब्द चाहिँ क्वाइन नि आउँदैन बुदु घोषण ख शब्द चाहिँ क्वाइन आउ ख तर कन्टेन्ट छ शील समाधि प्रज्ञा ख that is all from the Tripitaka
Tripitaka ख तर चाहिँ Tripitaka दुनी चाहिँ
आर्य अष्टाङ्ग मार्ग त झरम कन्सुल दिजे आपले चाहिँ शील समाधि प्रज्ञा ख दुनी with the elaborate in talk that's all म जी खाली just clarification जी थु okay thank you
okay
those people who don't know Dr. Rasana Bajracharya, he is one of the renowned figure in Nepal, and he also is the examiner for the PhD in Buddhist. He's involved with the I can't involved with Lumbini University, isn't it?
Yeah, Lumbini University, Lumbini Buddhist University associate faculty, but I'm from the management faculty. You retire, professor, management faculty retire, but I'm teaching in the Lumbini Buddhist University. Thomas Hodeka,
PhD
learning. Thomas said, you like Bukatano, Atham Bunmala, El Bungitatni, Bungitla Bunmali.
One day, Toby Bisele, Tobinsona, take a Jim Dokon Vijamalga.
Couldn't food any of a style of more than one guy, but I will try.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dai. You have attended. I was very happy. I am very happy.
Thank you very much. Thank you. First of all, as I see that we are quite coming to an end of today's talk, we can go on discussing because it's quite interesting topic, but we can discuss after the conclusion of our formal talk, then we can go in informal discussion if you wish. So at the beginning, at the first, let me thanks on behalf of Lumbini Nepalese Buddha Society, Dr. Rasana Bajracharya for her, very enlightening talk, mapping of Tripitaka, which is quite, it's good presentation, which we all appreciate. So at the same time, thanks to all who attended, joined us, and also put, your thoughts, ideas, and share your views. So I won't say person by person, but everybody who put their thoughts and ideas and raise their question is always helpful to elaborate and, understand better. So appreciate and wish you all. And as I always used to say, that is quite good. Dhamma Sakacha, Dhamma discussion is always beneficial, and which in Buddhism we consider as a pure action, purity of mind, purity of thoughts, punya karma. So may this bring health, happiness, and peace in all of us. May our life be success, and may all endeavors be success in whatever we are engaged with, bringing us health, happiness, peace, and success. And at the same time, we also think our departed relatives, may they also share goodwill of good thoughts, and may they also attain bliss of Nibbana with these thoughts, I'm going to conclude today's talk, and we can discuss informal before we go. Thank you.